I don't know if I sound much clearer than in days past, but I feel like I do. I feel like I do because I got this here new toy. Uh, it's basically a microphone. That's all it is, but it's so much better than uh, my iPhone mic. And audio is super important in these things, but oftentimes we just resort to what's easy. So I don't know. I upgraded. Think it was a wise choice. Um, so I've been thinking a bit more about what I said yesterday with respect to the format of these little nightly journals, and um, I think despite my um, oh, despite my desire to just continually refine components of the videos and make it into like a thing, I I think I need to relower the stakes for myself. I noticed the other day whenever I posted um, the video that I spelt diffuse wrong incorrectly. Um, that was one of the first videos that I was like, oh, you know what? I feel like my personality is really coming through. Because that's just like in that video, that was kind of one of those first videos that for me I felt like that's exactly how I talk. Like that's my personality when I'm being kind of like boisterous or frustrated or excited or whatever. And I liked that video because I was like, you know what? That was a tough bike ride. I'm taking my shirt off. I'm recording a video. I'm sweating. This is honest. This is raw. And when I went back and edited it, I felt like I was improving something on it. I felt like I was taking something that I thought was good or felt like my personality and clipping it up to make it be a little bit more funny. Because there were a lot of pauses in there. Like this is relatively uncut, but that video there were like a handful of pauses where I was like, oh, I'm self-conscious. I would just sit there and then I'd be like, wait, what was the last thing I just said? Take a deep breath and then be like, boom, and pick it back up. And it felt very much like actor director take, where I would basically like forget my line and then just go right back into it. And then in post, I cut it. And I didn't mind it so much, but the root of this is like from my first video where I'm just sitting here talking and processing the day. The stakes were really low because no one was watching. And I just knew that each day when I sat down to process the day or like get some thoughts, that I wasn't bombarded with the thought or the worry of whether or not someone was going to be looking at it. And so with the one word every New Yorker should know video, I posted it, and despite having spelt diffuse wrong, I still found myself like refreshing the YouTube page, like my analytics page, to see if like more than one person watched it. And it's kind of a stupid thing to admit, but like I don't know, I'm only human. Um, and when I started this thing, I really didn't care about getting subscribers necessarily, at least not right away. Certainly not while I'm doing these types of little short format journals. But I still found myself looking at it and thinking, oh, well, oh man, I really hope like it like does okay this round or whatever, like that it gets likes and it gets subscribers. And it's just not the right mindset for it. You have to go into this. I think you have to go into this with the Casey Neistat mindset. Make really good work, or honest work, or beautiful work, and then share it, and then move on. Now, I love analytics. I love taking them and figuring out, ooh, what's working, what's not, what's the demographic. Like that's really interesting to me. So that part doesn't feel like it's in vain. The part that does feel like it's in vain is when I'm looking at it so that others approve of it or like it, or I get more attention from it. And that's just like, that's just really not even what I'm about. I think Instagram trained my brain to be like that. And so it makes it very easy to kind of like, you know, post a video and then expect something in return. And so, anyways, today I'm not going to really cut it up at all. I just want to just talk um, and again lower the stakes. So for that other video, the stakes felt high. I felt like, okay, well, if I don't get likes, then people are going to stop watching, and that's pressure. Well, now I have to change it so that if people, so that people like it, and then I'm like moving in the right direction. But the pressure needs to like I'm still in this intro phase. The pressure needs to be off a little bit. I need to breathe. I need to be able to do this and not feel like it has to be something. And so I think I'm going to continue to post these at night, single take, minimal to no cuts, and keep trying to let it be honest. I think that is the most important thing for me, is that it retains its honesty. I got a card from my vet, and it has, 5 or 6, 7 different people, vets and vet techs and pharmacists who fell in love with Layla throughout the entire time of her being there. She was always such a joy. And, when she passed, like, it destroyed me. Um, and I think it affected a lot of the people at the vet too, because she was just such a personality. And yeah, she was just such a personality, and so she was well loved, and of course I loved her. But Jet, I'm gonna feed you soon, dude. Jet does this thing where he like breathes really heavily when he's hungry, and he doesn't eat until right about now anyway. But so okay, back to this thing. So in like my earlier videos, like I haven't gone back and watched them because they're kind of hard to watch, but like those are me like in the moment crying and being very, very present with myself and present with you. And and I felt like the more that I started to kind of edit and tweak and play with this specific format, the more that it started to feel like, this isn't really honest right now. You're just trying something. And there's nothing wrong with experimentation, but like it just didn't feel quite right for the time. So yeah, I want to get back to that point. Like I freaking cried today. I cried today reading that all of their notes, just because I didn't quite realize the depth that Layla, or the effect that she had while being at the vet. Um, and then I watched Casey Neistat's marathon video that he posted today, and of course, I cry again. Like I'm a freaking, in the words of Jude Law, a major weeper, and I just lost it. And so, anyways, those are like the components of myself that I really value and I really like and I want to convey and keep conveying, and then convey in my more refined work, versus feeling like, oh, it has to be edited and tweaked. So little tweaks, little improvements. That is what I'm going to keep doing no matter what. I'm removing myself from caring about this whole subscriber thing, because that's just like, it just gets in the way. It gets in the way of free thinking and creation. So removing the pressure from myself as I continue to do this. And yeah, breath of fresh air. It excites me. I think that's it. That's it for tonight. I am going to post this and feed my dog. I love you. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.